Have you ever sat down to study, only to find your mind wandering everywhere but the page in front of you? You sit for hours, but nothing seems to stay in your head. You want to focus, but your thoughts keep pulling you away. If you've ever felt this way, then you're not alone. Today, I want to tell you a story from the heart of the Himalayas, about a young monk named Tenzin, who once struggled just like you. Tenzin was not born a monk. He grew up in a small village surrounded by mountains and mist. From a young age, he dreamed of becoming wise, to understand life and master his mind. So, when he turned 16, he joined a monastery where hundreds of monks studied the teachings of Buddha. But to his surprise, monk life wasn't as peaceful as he thought. Every morning before sunrise, the bell would ring and the monks would meditate for hours. They would read sacred texts, copy long scriptures, and memorize verses in languages they barely knew. Tenzin wanted to learn it all, but his mind refused to cooperate. While others sat in silence, he kept fidgeting. While others finished reading, he was still staring at the same line, lost in thought. He tried harder, forcing himself to stay up late, drinking tea to stay awake, repeating lessons again and again, but nothing worked. His focus was like a candle flickering in the wind. One evening, tired and frustrated, Tenzin went to his master and said, "Master, I try every day to study, but my mind keeps running away. I read for hours, but I remember nothing. Maybe I'm just not meant for this path." The old master looked at him with calm eyes and said, "Tenzin, tomorrow at dawn, meet me by the river." The next morning, Tenzin woke up early and walked to the riverbank. The master stood there with a clay pot in his hand. Without saying a word, he dipped the pot into the river, filled it with muddy water, and placed it in front of Tenzin. "What do you see?" the master asked. "Mud, master," Tenzin replied. The master nodded and said, "Now, sit here and watch." Time passed. The river flowed, birds sang, and the sun began to rise. Slowly, the mud began to settle, and the water became clearer. The master pointed to the pot and said, "Do you see, Tenzin? When you stop shaking the pot, the dirt settles by itself, and the water becomes clear. The same happens with your mind. You are trying too hard to control it, to force it. But focus doesn't come from effort. It comes from stillness." The words hit Tenzin deeply. He realized that his mind wasn't his enemy. It was just restless. The more he fought it, the louder it became. So that day, he began a new practice. Instead of forcing himself to study for hours, he started small. 10 minutes of deep breathing, 5 minutes of silent reflection after each lesson, and short breaks to rest his thoughts. Slowly, everything began to change. His memory improved, his mind became sharper, and his understanding grew deeper. Within a year, the same boy who once couldn't sit still was now one of the monastery's most focused and wise students. Other monks would ask him how he could study so much in so little time, and he would simply smile and say, "When your mind becomes calm, learning becomes easy." The truth is, focus isn't about sitting for hours or cutting off distractions. It's about learning to be fully present in the moment you have. Your mind is like that muddy water. When it's filled with noise, comparison, and pressure, nothing is clear. But when you let it settle, when you breathe, pause, and give yourself space, your thoughts align and your focus becomes powerful. You begin to study less, but learn more, because your mind is no longer fighting itself. So the next time you sit down to study, don't rush. Don't force yourself to be perfect. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and remember the clay pot by the river. Let your thoughts settle. Allow your mind to breathe. Because once your mind becomes still, your focus will find you. And remember this: success doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing things with clarity and peace. When you master your mind, you master your world. So don't give up. Keep going, one breath, one page, one peaceful moment at a time. Your time will come, and when it does, you'll realize that focus was never something you had to chase. It was something waiting inside you all along.